Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Harvest Moon Farm. My name is Mickey if you are new to my channel, and I focus on homesteading activities. So I do a lot of cooking and baking. It's March, so we've got some gardening prep going on. I just started a bunch of seeds that will hopefully be planted out in the next several weeks, couple of months, depending on what the produce is. And today I just want to give you a little bit of a tour of our property. Obviously, it'll look much more amazing when it's all in full summer greens, but I don't know that I've ever shown the entire property. So we're going to take a little tour on the gator after a while to see that. But first, I want to show you kind of what's going on around here. There's always something to work on. You guys know this. There's always something to work on when you have a house, when you have a farm. So today, my husband, he got some rock for free, some pretty big flagstone, and so he is building a walkway from the front of our house where the sidewalk ends to our building, which before we had to either walk through the grass, which was fine, unless it was rainy and muddy and snowy, and then we had to take a long track around so we didn't just soak our feet. So I'm going to take you out and show you what he's doing. So you can see our building is, how far is that, babe? I don't know.
Maybe about 300 feet maybe?
Okay, so about 300 feet from our house to the building. And so he's, like I said, he's got all that flagstone that he got, and he's got it marked out, and he's starting to dig out and place this rock so that we'll have a nice walkway. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit on some of this so you can see it a little better. So it looks really nice already. It's going to be fantastic when the weather is wet or muddy or yucky, so that we can walk out to our building out there without ending up with sloshy feet. Looks good.
I'm never sure what I'm doing. Just tell this one
Down.
a little bit.
So you can see there he's just digging out some of the dirt so that he can get these stones down so that the walkway is going to be as flat and smooth as possible, so that nobody running across it like me stubs their toe and falls, because it would be me that does it, not one of the kids. Alright, so you can see what he's got planned for himself for today. So we'll be back in a little while and we will check on his progress. Anything you want to say?
Back hurts.
Okay, so here we are coming out of the building, and it's very, very windy and hard to talk over the wind and the sound of the gator, so I'm just going to do some voiceover here. So the back of our house is to the east, so we get beautiful sunrises from our deck over those trees in the mornings when it's clear. It's so nice. They have just been so pretty. So we're going to come up first on our little goat pen, which if you guys have been watching my channel, you've seen us do work where we built the first piece of it and then built that second edition that's on this side and the extra shelter in there. We lost a couple of our baby goats, so we've just got these two girls left. They were the first two that we got. So we've got Maggie and Molly, and they are super nosy, of course, and so they're curious what's going on there, hoping that we're going to give them some food, I'm sure. So we're swinging around a little bit now. So there's Bear fenced in the backyard and very unhappy because we didn't take him with us. And then I'm going to zoom in here in just a second, but there in the background inside the fenced-in area is the gazebo and fire pit that my youngest son, there I'm zooming in, that my youngest son built for me last fall. We've used it a couple of times before the weather got too cool. but it's been amazing. We're going to put some swings, I think, on like every other panel sometime this year. So Joe went and grabbed some hay so that he could give it to the girls, so that now they're super happy. So they're just going to eat hay and stare at us. So we're going to go ahead and move on now to our other chicken coop. So this second coop back here we built last year, and in it we have some chickens that, some additional hens that I had ordered through the mail, some chickens that we hatched from our own eggs, and a few silkies that I bought from the local farm store last year. So they, of course, anytime you get close, they all think you're going to feed them. So some of them are brave enough over the noise of the gator to come over and see if we're going to give them any food. But they really did just get fed. I love to watch the chickens and listen to them make their little squawking noises. It just makes me so happy. So here we are going across the back of the fenced-in area. There's a better, closer view of the gazebo. It's been very, very windy, and all of our chairs have been blown over by the wind. And so our property goes out to the road, and then on, I think he's going to turn here, on the left-hand side right there is our garden plot. So we've got little more than 2/3 of it covered with a tarp. Well, there's 2 tarps there. We've got some compost ordered. When it gets delivered, we're going to pull back the first piece of tarp that's on the far side of this, and we're going to spread that compost, and that's where all of my spring plants are going to go in. So I think he just drives around the side here so you can get an idea of the property. Not doing the best job at holding the camera while we're moving, but there's the other angle of the garden. And so this has worked out really well. We haven't had to worry about any deer getting into our garden. When we first started it, I think we did have some baby bunnies getting in there because they can get through the holes in the fence, but a larger bunny can't get through. So I think now, so we're going to go down this aisle. We have a bunch of fruit trees planted right where these orange buckets are. We've got, we planted 8 the first year that we lived here, and some of them didn't make it. And so we've kind of just replaced them with whatever we wanted to buy at the time. So we've got plum trees, apple trees, cherry trees. There's some peach. And I think we have 1 pear. And then at the very end on the right-hand side, there are 2 filbert trees because that is Joe's favorite type of nut. And so I bought those hoping that we could eventually get some filberts off of these trees. So we've got a few years before our trees are going to produce anything, obviously, but I'm really excited for when that actually becomes a little orchard. So on this front side here, on the other side of the gravel, it's kind of hard to see right this minute. You can see where I have those little flags, and that one actually has grown up pretty well. So I've got a line of lilac bushes, and my thought was not only would they create a screen for the street and just be beautiful up there, but they would also, when the wind blows, it's going to blow the smell of all those lilacs towards our house, and that will just be wonderful. I love the smell of lilacs. So my husband is being a speed demon flying around the back of the building, and we're going to head towards the back of the property now. So you can see that little fence post right there. That's the property divider. So ours is on the left-hand side, and our neighbor's, his property starts there and goes to the right. And we've got a local farmer that has hayed this property for years and years, and so he still hays our property, he hays the neighbor's property, and all the way around as far as this section goes, and he does a lot more properties in the area where we live. So the first year that we lived here, we did not have a fenced-in backyard when we first moved in, and so we did not let the dog out by himself. When we'd take him out, we had to put him on a leash because he's never been any place where he can just run completely free, and we didn't know if he would, get scared and get on the road and get hit. So one day, though, when I was walking him, there was a fox sitting back along these tree lines, and it just sat and stared at us while we walked, and it was just so exciting to me to be able to see that, that animal sitting out there so beautiful in the snow, and I really enjoyed that. So there's a creek down past this tree line. It's got a pretty deep gully, I guess is what you would call it. So there's a section right in here somewhere. Yeah, so right in this section, we've started cleaning it up. So we've cut down some of the smaller sucker trees and cleaned up some of the brush. We are probably going to cut down the tree that splits in two right there in the center of the screen. And in the summertime, then it's going to be nice and fully shaded. And we're planning to put a picnic table back here because we thought the grandkids would really enjoy sitting back here under the trees by the creek. And if the creek is not super full and running fast, which it doesn't very often do that, we could let them go down and play a little bit in the creek while we're there with them. So that's something we started cleaning up. We've got to get the poison ivy and all of that out of there as well. So now we're just going to finish our little round of the last of our property. So obviously those trees are following the creek line. And it looks so pretty out here once everything is all greened up and, nothing is bare and brown anymore. So then the property just goes on around this tree line. And again, I'm not doing the best job at holding the camera, trying to point where I want you to see while we're moving. So our property is basically square, except for this section right here where there's a mobile home back here, I think, and a little building. And it is currently empty. It was an older man and woman that lived here, and they're both gone now. So we don't know if they're going to sell this property or if some other part of their family is going to clean it up. But I have lots of ideas if they decide to sell it. If it was something that we could manage to purchase, I have great ideas for what I could do with that. So now I think we're just going to go on around and back up to the front of the property. So here we're looking at the finished walkway. He did a great job. It looks so awesome. And that stone kind of blends in with all of the rest of the stone that we have in other places around the property. And so it looks really nice. And I'm so thankful that we had the opportunity to do this. And so, nice short video today. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys on the next video.